party is traversing the sands of the Shadra Desert when it comes across a ghastly sight. A large beetle, 6 feet in circumference, which has 2 of its 6 legs ripped off. There's dark red, blood-stained sand beneath the creature, and it squirms in pain. The party manages to scare off the band of marauding orcs which felled the beast, but it's in tough shape. The party's wizard, Yuvia, says she's read of a creature like this, called a gage. "Hello?" she says. "Can you hear me? Are you okay?" But there's no response. She moves closer and places her hand on the head of the beast. The creature's antennae reaches out and touches Yuvia on the forehead, and she screams in pain. Yuvia feels overcome and she tries to scream out for help, but she has forgotten how to. She can't think in common. The creature is descended upon by the rest of the party, but it cries out, "Stop! I yield! Please don't kill me!" Yuvia says in Elvish to the paladin Sanson that her brain hurts from the attack. Moments pass and the creature is killed. Yuvia had to relearn common, and the party never took so kindly to the sick and vulnerable from that day onward. So today's video is on the gage. Firstly, what does Boo tell you? So gage are predatory hunters which ambush prey by burrowing into sand and hiding in caves. They also lurk on natural stone ledges. Gage have no language, but they can psionically understand the speech of other creatures. Gage walk on 6 insectile legs and attack with their mandibles. Gage heads are large at 2 feet in diameter with 3 feather-like appendages protruding from it. Spaced evenly around the gage's head are 6 insectile compound eyes. Around the gage's mouth are 6 finger-like antennae which it can use to psionically probe the mind of another creature. Doing so forces a DC 12 wisdom saving throw, and the target taking 3d10 psychic on a fail, and if it is a fail, the gage gets to extract 1 piece of information from the mind of the victim. In combat, the gage can use its powerful mandibles for 2d6 plus 3 damage, plus grappling the creature, and then either using its mind-probing antennae or a 60-foot range psionic paralyzing attack, which has recharge 6. Next, what does Boo not tell you? So, gage resemble giant beetles, which have scaly orange, rust orange shell about 6 feet in diameter. Gage limbs are 4-jointed and they end at webbed feet with long piercing claws. Gage are said to be carnivores, which eat flesh to sustain their physical energy, but unlike other creatures, they also derive mental energy from the thoughts of other beings. In previous edition, the gage's body was resistant to damage from non-metallic weapons. It could also pull its head into its shell, leaving only its dangerous mandibles exposed, without affecting its combat effectiveness. By using their mind-probing antennae, they used to search for quote-unquote life detection powers for signs of other intelligent races. If a gage is unable to supply itself with food or the thoughts of an intelligent creature, it slowly loses its PSPs, which stands for psionic strength points, at a rate of 1d10 per day. If this ever drops to 0, the gage loses all psionic powers and its will to live. So in conclusion, my first thought when reading about this monster was that the psionic feeding off on other intelligent life reminded me of the amoebas from the TV show Futurama, in which, spoilers, it's a dead show, but spoilers, the protagonist, Fry, was too unintelligent to sustain the parasite's life. The reason why I'm bringing this up as a backhanded way to mess with and insult your players. Think of a scenario where you have a near-death, starving gage beg for the thoughts of your players to sustain itself, only for it to die as your player characters are too stupid. But I digress. The monster is interesting flavor-wise, but it's limited by 5e's lack of official rules for psionics. There are psionic-themed characters like the Soul Knife or the PSI Knight, but psionic powers are just reflavored magic in those cases. In previous editions, psionics were more fleshed out, and creatures like the gage had cool abilities, named things like Mass Domination or Ego Whip. It could have been cool to give this creature magical attacks other than the paralyzing ray, to sort of round it off, but in summation, it's a pretty cool monster, but it's held back by the limitations of 5e. I give it a 12 out of 20.